Have you ever tasted a memory? Not a flavor, not a spice, but the feeling of your happiest moment melting on your tongue? In a tired little town where laughter had gone quiet and smiles hid behind gray skies, one pot of soup changed everything. They called it Starlight Soup, but no one knew that its magic began with a wish. Mira lived at the edge of town in a crooked cottage that smelled like onions and rosemary. She had no money, no fame, just a battered copper pot, a wooden spoon worn smooth by time, and a heart that could stretch a single carrot into comfort. Each evening, she gathered leftover scraps, vegetable peels, wilted greens, broken pasta, and turned them into something warm, something kind. She called it gratitude soup, but most nights she ate alone. The town used to laugh. Children used to play in the square. Old men played music on balconies. Friends moved away. Hopes dimmed. Women hung flowers from their windows. But one by one, jobs were lost, and gratitude became a ghost. Even Myra's soup couldn't stir the silence. One clear night, Mira stood outside stirring her usual pot, cabbage cores, potato eyes, garlic skins, under a sky full of stars. A blaze streaked across the sky, a falling star. She closed her eyes and whispered, "Just one moment of joy. That's all I ask." And as if the stars heard her, crack, it plummeted, spun, shimmered, and with a hiss of steam, dropped right into her soup pot. Myra blinked, mouth open. The soup bubbled, glowing faintly blue. It smelled like citrus and snow, cinnamon and sunlight. Curious and a little afraid, she dipped a spoon in and tasted. In that moment, she wasn't in her cottage. She was 5 years old again, barefoot on a summer hill, chasing her mother's laughter. A memory, not imagined, not dreamed, lived. The next morning, Mira shared the soup with her neighbor, old Tom. He wept into his bowl, remembering his wedding day under lanterns. Then came the butcher, the florist, the shy librarian, the feeling of a first kiss, the smell of fresh bread in their childhood kitchen. One by one, people tasted Myra's Starlight Soup and remembered the sound of their father whistling. They laughed, they hugged, and slowly the town began to glow again, not with stars, but with something warmer. People began bringing scraps to Myra's cottage, rutabaga tops, onion ends, squash seeds. Not because they were poor, but because they wanted to be part of the magic. They helped chop, stir, serve, and each night, under lanterns strung across the streets, the town gathered, bowls in hand, hearts open. Music returned. So did color. So did hope. Weeks later, someone asked Mira, "What was in that star?" She smiled. "Maybe it wasn't the star," she said softly. "Maybe the soup was always magic. Maybe all we needed was a reason to taste it together." So what was Starlight Soup? It wasn't about the ingredients or the shimmer. It was about gratitude, about remembering what you still have, even if it's just a soft potato and a quiet friend, about sharing scraps of yourself until something warm and whole and beautiful bubbles up. Because sometimes the smallest things, a peel, a memory, a wish, can stir the stars. And in the quiet between the sips, we remember who we are.